It's about 6:15 in the morning. We are on the Mount Adams South Climb Trail. I have my coworker's ice axe. It's light, unlike the used old ones I bought that are like 10 pounds. This is going to be about 6 miles up, but we're gaining almost 7,000 feet. So definitely steep. I don't think there's too much snow left, which actually is going to make it worse. I think it's going to be sandy. So just met some guys in the parking lot, told them about my channel, so hopefully they watch this. But I don't think you can see the true summit, or maybe you're nowhere close. I know you hit Piker's Peak, a false summit, what you can see most of the time, but that even doesn't look high enough. So anyway, we're heading up. The weather's perfect. It's like 45 or 47 degrees. It'll be in the 30s and windy up on the summit, but I got a windbreaker. So anyway, the first 2.5 miles are a little tame, and then it steepens up. So this should be fairly smooth, I'm hoping. So I will check in. There's a lot of cars in the parking lot, a lot of people camping, I think, or maybe up there on the lunch counter. So I'll check in higher up here. We're probably a mile and a half in. Not going up too much so far. Well, I think we finished our first 2.5 miles that were easier, because now it is definitely steeper. Very sandy. Not to the point where it's incredibly annoying, where it's like a sand dune, but it slows you down a little bit. Still haven't seen anyone since the trailhead. So there are the views back. I believe that's Hood. That's an awesome view of Hood. So we've hit sun. The trail is not marked very well, and I'm not totally sure if I'm in the right place or if I'm supposed to be down there, because I'm just going through these rocks. I'm gonna check the map. There are footprints, but can't really see where we're going. But it's getting a little windy already, but the sun will warm it up. See the post, just heading up. Trail's been a little hard to follow. I think I went off trail again. Very dry, very sandy. I'm gonna try not to look at the map at all to see how far I have to go, but needless to say, long way to go still. Well, we spotted our first people right up there, you know, a 1/4 mile in front of us or so. So we should be catching them. There's good old pikers. I guess we're making some progress. If I had to guess, I would say we're 2,500 to 3,000 up. So I believe we just cleared the lunch counter where there are all these campsites in the rocks. It's not actually flat at all. I mean, the sites are, but the terrain is not. Just past those two dudes. Basically just walking on rock. So it's somewhat slow going. But it hasn't been too bad. But as you can see, we still have a massive climb, and then more after that even. So that's sort of our objective, to get on top of Piker's Peak. So yeah, no one seems to be sure of the actual route here, and maybe because this is usually covered in snow, it's easier. I wanted to just go straight up, but apparently it comes slightly to the right. So anyway, I just looked at the map. at 9,000 feet. So, that's not bad. I'm still trying to look. Like, I literally just want to go straight up. I really want to go straight up this ridge. I think I might just go straight up. And I think this is the true lunch counter. This is like flat. You can see it's like flat and dusty. And we're at 9,000 feet, so yeah. I think this is the lunch counter. So I'm just gonna go straight up this spine right here. Okay, so correction. That guy seemed like an Adams veteran. He said it is not worth it to go straight up. This is cool. This is real sandy. And look at this. Snow, I guess this was snow recently. He said it was not worth it to go straight up. He said take the time to go flat and go over now. He said it would save me, he said, an hour. I mean, probably, you know, maybe 15 minutes, but we'll see. Making progress. Yeah, it's getting windy. This snowfield's actually fairly intense. They've hopped on it down there. I'm staying off it as long as I can, which I theoretically could go on the left side. But I put my windbreaker on. It's getting a little windy and chilly. Hat and gloves are in my pocket now. I think I'm gonna have to end up putting them on, but this is, I don't know, somewhat challenging terrain on the snow. Seems easier to me to stay here. Alright, so we've hit snow now. So I don't know if I should follow the other people and cross here. I probably should instead of just going straight up this thing. Not the easiest thing in the world though, to walk on this stuff. It's pretty steep in some parts, that's for sure. So like right here, not ideal, but I'll cross right here. It's slightly easier on the snow. So we're just going up, basically aiming for that false summit up there. Well, we're off the snow, but now we're in this loose. This part sucks. Just this loose sand and scree, and it would help if I had two poles to really thrust up. Everyone seems to have that. Oh well. Heading up. Whew. Well, we've hit a path that I guess I could have gone over and found, but I camped straight up. That was awful. So loose, I was just sliding back every step. So we're getting close to Pikers. I don't know if that Piker's a little higher. This is so demoralizing. I'm trying to walk up this sand ash slope. You just can't. It's like not dependent on your fitness at all. Like I'm not breathing heavy. You just can't. You can't walk without sliding. So just be prepared for like you know, I'll say an hour of just walking on loose ash sand where you just can't step up. So 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Extrovert. But I'm hopeful that within a couple hundred feet here, we're gonna crest. All right, we made it. That is Piker's Peak. And we're heading towards Adams. And it's gonna be steep going up Adams, but you know, we have less than 1,000 feet left, so that is nice. It's a shame it's all hazy. It's hard to see. But there's St Helens out there. Big crevasses there. Cool cabin. That's it. Adams Summit. There's Mount Rainier right there. I have the summit to myself. That's Hood, if you can see Hood out there. So I just ate my M&Ms on what I think is Piker's Peak, but not completely sure. So there's a good 8 to 10 people now on the way up. I should see a lot more still coming up. So I'm hopeful the wind will die down a little bit once I start dropping here, but this is going to be a crappy steep descent, but at least it'll be a lot faster than the ascent. My shoes are full of dirt and rocks right now. Well, we've come down quite a ways. This trail is incredibly difficult to follow. I don't know why someone said it was well marked. There are no markers anywhere. And everyone else is in the same boat that I've talked to. They're like, where do we go? We have the track. There's no markings. Everyone's getting off course. I didn't walk across this thing on the way up. I don't know if I was on this rock or that rock. It is not well marked at all, and it's disappointing. It's such a popular mountain. It's not hard to put some posts or some cairns. So just be aware of that if you do this, that this is not well marked at all. It's basically just do whatever you want to get up and down. I mean, look at the terrain. I'm just walking through rocks. It's taking so much time because there's nowhere to walk. you're just walking on loose rock the entire time. It's very frustrating. This trail is just not very good. It's not a fun hike. It doesn't test really your hiking ability, cardiovascular ability at all, because you're just sliding around sand and loose scree the whole time. It tests your patience and stuff like that. But so, you know, if you're trying to travel to specifically do this, I would not. I would totally do Hood, Rainier, St Helens, do other stuff in the parks. But yeah, this is not a good hike to do. It's just torture. It's awful. So anyway, that's my rant. I'm gonna cut over this and look over this. But it literally takes forever to go anywhere because you have to be so careful every one of your steps. So yeah, that's my rant on Adams. Plenty of people have turned around and didn't summit because they said it was too hard and just too frustrating trying to climb up all the loose stuff. It just wasn't worth it, and they were taking too long. So I am not alone, in my opinion. Well, we've hit tree line going down, sort of. We're on this ridge that we eventually will drop off of pretty soon, I think. We've got our trail back at least. It's still steep, but in the next half mile or something, it's gonna turn to much more cruiser trail. We might. I got Charlie horsed by a rock and it like really hurts. It's probably gonna be bruised. I'm not sure if we go down here or not. Adams there. I guess, I don't know if that is actually the summit that you're seeing up there in the lighter color. It might be. We just came down 7,000 feet. Yippee. Yeah, not fun. By the way, my math was wrong, and I think it's in the video. The way up took me 4.5 hours, not 3.5 hours. 4.5 damn hours. So obviously that is not fast for, I think the track's wrong. I think it's more like 6.5 or 7 miles up, but either way, incredibly slow for 6 or 7 miles. And then I made it down and like, it was over 8 hours, a little bit over 8 hours all in. I thought this was gonna be a 6-hour thing. So yeah, just goes to show you, if you're doing Adams without snow, budget some extra time. Maybe even if you're doing it with snow. So where am I parked? There I am. That's a wrap on Adams. I'm pretty beat. It's warm too. It's super warm down low here.